Hello everyone, my name is Alice Lowe. Welcome to another Deaf What episode. Let's welcome Juan Jaramillo, and this is his sign name. He is a dancer and a performer. Thank you for joining us today. Yay! Thank you for inviting me here today. I'm thrilled to be here. I'm happy. I have a question. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself? I'm Spanish. My name is Juan. I'm a performer and an actor. There's a long list of who I am. Let's start with where I'm originally from. I was born in South America. I moved to Canada when I was about 7 or 8. I can't recall the exact age. I was a young boy when I moved with my mom to settle in Canada. The reason why we moved to Canada was because back in the 1970s, there was a drug war happening with cartels. It was incredibly dangerous at the time. There were many people who lived in Colombia that were endangered and threatened by the cartels' shooting and war from the government. People got caught in between. Sometimes groups of criminals and gangs would target and shoot people who were vulnerable. My mom was anxious and constantly worried because I was deaf, and that's why we moved to Canada, for safety. After moving to Canada, I picked up English as my second language, my first being Spanish. My second language was English at around age 10. It was interesting learning English because I'd never experienced the language before. When I was around 14, I started signing, my third language. Could you imagine learning 3 languages? I did start LSQ, but my knowledge on it is very minimal. How interesting. Thank you for sharing your life experience moving from South America to Canada. You were really fortunate to settle in a safe space like Canada. I didn't realize that it was like that in Colombia back then. With gangs and people looking to murder people who were disabled and vulnerable. How awful. Yeah, that's how it used to be. Next question. How did you get involved in performing? Well, I'm almost 50 years old. Sometimes I have a hard time believing that's my age now. Sometimes I feel about 30, but then I look back and I realize it's been such a long time now. To go all the way back to when I started, I was 20 years old and I founded Dancing Hands with Patty. This is her sign name. Patty Trofimenkoff is a former teacher at a deaf school. We both bonded with our passions in music, dancing, drama, and performing. We decided to form Dancing Hands, and that meant being inclusive with different youth to get them involved. We wanted to teach them to teach, grow with, and support each other until they were ready to perform at different venues on weekends. We would also go to deaf events. And we went on for almost 15 years without any donations. Nothing. Most of it was volunteer work throughout it all. There was very little paid work. But compared to now, it was shocking. I stopped Dancing Hands after a while because of retirement. Not enough time, as well as juggling full-time work and finding new paths in life. I worked as a child and youth worker for almost 25 years until I became a child and youth advocate for the provincial government of Ontario for almost 9 years. In the time frame I worked there, the formed government shut down the office, and we were deeply sorrowful. I took 2 years off for myself and for my mental health. I was depressed, struggling, and confused until I realized I had a passion that ignited in me, and it was performing. I looked back to my memories of dancing and I missed it. I decided I wanted to take back my old passion, to dig deep inside, grab the joy, and say that I found it again. I decided to focus on a new path in life, and that is how I'm now learning it all again. I found it so fascinating to learn how to find funding and apply for grants. There was no such thing back then. There were not many opportunities like this for deaf people. I see so many opportunities nowadays, and I thought, why not? Take on a new path and focus on acting. In both theater and films. I also write scripts, and I'm going to be writing my 4th script soon. I also recently received an award for Fernando and the Llama, a script I wrote. I got an award for that too. I feel inspired. Things are falling into place for me. I feel that I can succeed. Hopefully, the next thing I want to do is create a new drama group for us to move forward together. I have so many ideas I feel so motivated to do. My old job in child and youth work, politics, my mental health, human rights, teachers, principals, superintendents, directors, teachers. It was just all overwhelming. I was absolutely done with it all. I wanted something that brought me energy. I wanted to contribute back to the community through drama, scripts, and fun shows, especially for deaf children, the ones who need it the most. Where would they find it when there's nothing out there? It's rare. I figured it was a goal I wouldn't mind working towards in that process. I really appreciate that from the beginning, you described feeling passion like a fire in your chest. After retirement, the fire started to dim for many years, and then you started feeling it light back up into a full, raging wildfire. Yes. You have more work coming for you in your future, and this means your wildfire inside is going to be massive. Yeah, and really, no, go ahead. And really, explaining it like a fire is something really cool because the people that I meet, like you, many people grow in theater. Back then in my own times, I was isolated and the community was few and far between. Now it's an expanding community. It is refreshing to see that we have many actors nowadays. Many actors have hidden talents and people don't get to see them enough to recruit them. Yes, definitely. Yeah, definitely. That's the reason why my team worked to found Deaf What? To showcase all of the other skilled artists that we have them here all across Canada. The time is now. Right. And this will also inspire other deaf youth, and that's what we need. I agree. Now that we have new generations, we hope to pass on these stories so that they feel they can do anything. To continue this into the new generation and for all generations to come. Yes, hopefully, right? Yes, agreed. As an artist, did you find that the COVID pandemic affected your career as an artist? Well, I've heard a lot of different perspectives from other people's experiences and how it impacted them. It's funny because for me it was a little bit different. I'd already been laid off for 1 year, and in my second year, the pandemic started. I was already feeling depressed, confused, isolated, not knowing what I was going to do with my future. And then, boom, COVID. I was already in a bad place. For other people, they found it more difficult. I was already ahead of them. So it was an interesting experience. Everyone was scrambling, but for me, I was just indifferent. Of course, it took a while, but it felt like I finally caught up with everyone else, and I was in the same boat with everyone. We related to each other on a new life of being isolated, communicating on screen, figuring out how Zoom works. I feel like an old man. I didn't know how to work it out. It was all a learning experience. I had benefits out of it, but at the same time, there were cons for the deaf community. I'm a people person. I love to spend time in person with people, chatting. On screen, it's a little abnormal for me. Hi, do you see me? Waving hands over and over again. Do you see me? In real life, you don't do that. You don't wave hands at the person across from you and ask if they see you. It's rude. But online, you have to do it again and again. Wave your hands. Do you see me? Do I look okay? Am I too close, too far? It became repetitive to get that over with in the beginning before moving on to other things. I just thought it was interesting that it popped up often. I did some practice. I did a lot of meetings on Zoom, definitely. I'm looking forward to getting back into physical spaces. For acting especially, it makes sense for you to be physically there, to stand together in a circle. We need that back. Zoom is okay, but it's not the same as being in person. I'm looking forward to going back, but of course, safely. Make sure everyone is going to be safe too and follow procedures properly. That is true. I understand the difference between being on Zoom and being there physically. Because on Zoom, it's just a screen. You can see the movements and all, but it's limited because it's within a rectangle screen. As soon as you leave the edges of the screen, you're gone. We'd need a 180 or 360-degree camera view to be fully inclusive. So yes, I understand that. I hope in the next year or two we will be able to go back on stage to perform. Who knows? Fingers crossed. I know that there are negatives that impact us, but sometimes the result itself is positive, you know? Being forced to stay home. And that's when Zoom started popping up. Other videos and technology started popping up. If COVID didn't happen, we'd be delayed in technology, and it wouldn't have developed until much later. And it changes us. The path we're on, the path the entire world's on. That is true. Zoom is a positive thing that has happened because it gives you more opportunities to have more performances to be involved with. The coolest benefit is that it exposes your name and your work to everyone in the whole wide world. I mean, it's not only local to Toronto anymore, but to the entire province, the country, or even the United States. That's one positive aspect to it. In the times you've been involved in performances recently, which part of it has been your favorite? Wow. I kiss fist enjoy them all. Really. For example, being involved in film acting and learning their processes about how they film various scenes in different angles. That was just before COVID happened. It was fantastic and I enjoyed that. The cameras, filming, the people, I learned a tremendous amount from them. Film scripting is also a little bit different than theater scripting. I've compared them both and they were riveting. Then I got involved in theater too. I flew to attend Sound Off, and I met even more people there. It was fantastic there too. And then script writing. I'm a scriptwriter. I just started developing a passion for writing, and now I'm a writer. I'm not just a dancer. I've become a dancer, an actor, a writer, and a performer on stage. I have many hats to put on, and I thoroughly enjoy them all. I can't pick just one. I enjoy them all. I have a few complaints, of course, like Zoom and the ups and downs, but that's part of life, you know? It would be hard to pick just one favorite. Impossible. Because you enjoy being a part of different things. Yes. Because those were a part of your new learning experience each day, and it's always interesting learning new skills, right? Yes. I can tell you one of my most heartwarming memories. When I was in DST, Deaf Spirit Theater, we went to an event in my first year. I met so many people for the first time. Many skilled actors, and a variety of skill level in actors. I was blown away. I was dazzled by the show experience. When it was time for us, DST, to have our show for deaf children, a place specifically for deaf children. Anyway, many adults came to watch the show too. The event lasted for 1 week. It wasn't a full show. The room capacity was supposed to go up to 100 people. Mostly, the number of people who showed up in the room went from 20, 30, 50, 20, you know how it is, then boom. For a performance one day, the audience was full of children from a deaf school in Edmonton. They all came to watch us perform. Full of kids. Full show. They told us that we sold out of tickets. I was like, what? It was full. All of the school came to see us. No way. Wow. Made me nervous. So I performed on stage as per usual. And then when we were done, at the end, all the kids were cheering for us. They all came up to me. They wanted pictures with us. Tiny kids sat with us. I crouched to take pictures with them. It was such a good experience. And they wanted more. Again. But they had to go back to the school bus to leave. They left in a large lineup and they all said goodbye. I looked at them leave, and their eyes met mine, just full of wonder, and it impacted me. It made me realize I need to do more plays for deaf children. We need more of those. And so that's what I have now. I'm creating a new group, and hopefully I'll be doing more plays for deaf children in the future. I'm hoping I'm successful with getting the grant for it. Next week, I have to select a group of people to make it official. I'm excited to share that in the future. Wow. Wow, I'm ecstatic and curious to see who you select for your group in the near future. I'm really excited for you. Thank you. I mean, it's important, especially for deaf youth. This is remarkable. I'm curious, what is your goal as a deaf artist? What is your one goal? I think I've said a lot. To pick one specific out of what I've said, that I want to see more actors, especially deaf actors, grow. I have to sit and think, how do I do that? You know? I've met so many people who've said that they wanted to act but didn't know where to go to find opportunities, or that it was too far. They've told me many other reasons and excuses, and then I realized, why not start something? So my goal is to set up a program for youth and anyone else interested to learn from each other, develop skills, learn how to write a resume, CV, how to take a headshot, how to apply for grants, and how to reach out to them. I want to teach them essential skills. So yeah, it's an idea. That's my goal. And let's see what happens. That's good. I hope that you will make it happen in the near future so that people who have a passion to become an actor can get involved. And there's also potential for it to grow and get them recognized across Canada. Fingers crossed. Do you have any advice for deaf artists? Yes. I strongly encourage artists not to give up. I know the feeling of wanting to quit and push it away. I get that feeling. And I already did feel that when I started learning about grant writing. There's so much reading and writing involved in grant writing, it gives me a headache. All the words, figuring out the English, editing, I felt like giving up. I felt like it was impossible for me to understand how to write grants. I felt frustrated with barriers. I felt like I was hitting a tree 1,000 times with my head, over and over again. I realized it helped me become an expert in navigating the system. It takes time. Don't give up. When you see an artist become sad and hopeless, find friends to surround and encourage them. Push them. Tell them that they can do it and to not give up. You need a lot of encouragement from the community. Don't give up, no matter how hard it is. Don't give up. Yes, that's true. And that's some good advice to tell deaf people, to not give up. Keep following your dreams, and eventually you'll capture it. Yes, and you have to expect to fail. You have to expect to fail. Yes, absolutely. You have to expect disappointment. That's part of growth. Absolutely. I've always told my friends that the concept is similar to a flower. You have to go through some rain and some sun, and then you will bloom and grow beautifully. Without a little bit of rain and sun, you wouldn't grow, right? Right. You have to expect some disappointment, some frustrations. It's all part of inner growth. That is true. With how you talked about failure being a way to learn, I feel that failure is technically our best friend. Right. It's how we learn to go through it and grow. I agree, 100%. I'm curious, what gives you joy and inspiration? Loud music. Right to the point, loud music. I think everyone knows me as the person who likes loud music. My family gets annoyed that I like loud music. When I drive, people hear loud music and they know Juan is on the way. I'm a loud person. My voice is loud. My Spanish family is loud. It brings me love and joy. The TV is also loud. I like the news blaring. I turn it all the way up until the speakers shake. I have speakers that are connected to the TV that sit behind my back. I love it when I turn the music all the way up and I feel it shake through my bones. It's exhilarating, and it helps fade my stress. That's my joy. That's a good one. It sounds like fun to feel music shake through your bones to relax. Not fun for hearing people, sorry. For sure, but for you, it's a euphoric feeling. It's almost like a sound massage. Yes, I like that word. A loud massage. Good explanation. And it relieves stress, right? Perfect. You can share that for yourself. Music massage. That. Yes. Have you thought about any other advice you want to share with folks in the hearing world? For the hearing world? Really? Give us the chance. The hearing world already has some doubts, some negativity, some curiosity, like, oh really, I never knew that. The standard responses. Give us the chance. You'd be surprised at how good we are at this. Join us. Really, the point is to join and work together. We can't do it without you, and you guys can't do it without us. We need to join both our worlds together to make it into a fully accessible world. We need to join together to make it better. Any other thoughts you want to share with the deaf community? I think with what I just said, I had one important thing to say. Encouragement. My advice is that even if you are a deaf leader yourself, you should encourage other deaf people too. Not just work only for yourself to gain equality. There are a lot of deaf leaders out there that are involved to push others, to encourage, and to tell them to not give up. You need to hear it from role models. Again, at the same time, not many people are a person of color, Black, brown, Indigenous. We don't have a lot of role models for them out there, and that needs a lot of encouragement. You don't often hear from them, so it's nice to give words or signs of encouragement. To support them, whether they are sad or disappointed, that they didn't get their part, or maybe they have a relationship issue, try and support them. We need a lot of encouragement. That's my advice. Support your friends. That's true. Thank you for sharing your thoughts and words about the deaf community needing to encourage each other. Right. Like whatever you're doing, elevate others as well. Similar to the pay it forward action. That. You elevate someone who elevates someone else, a chain reaction. I've always strongly believed in paying it forward. That. Yes. Well, that's all. I really wanted to thank you for this interview. And I would like to recognize and acknowledge the Canada Council of the Arts for funding this project. Thank you. Cheers and thank you.